Hey, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to test the loading speed and the mobile responsiveness of your new website. Stay tuned. Loading speed and mobile responsiveness are so important today that you just can't risk having poor loading speed and mobile responsiveness for your small business website. So in today's video, I'm going to show you a few tools you can use to measure how fast your website loads so you can get them fixed if there's a problem, and you can also test the mobile responsiveness. We're going to look at three tools today. We have the GTMetrix tool, the Google Page Speed Insights tool, and the Google Mobile Friendly test. And these tools are completely free. I have the links down below. And I have a website that I've been working on, and we're going to take a look at the loading speed and the mobile responsiveness using these three tools. So I'm going to dive right into it. While this is analyzing, I'm going to go ahead and plug my site into all three of these and let it analyze. So it is going to take a little while, but once it's done analyzing the site, it's going to give us a huge amount of information that we can use to determine whether or not there's a problem on our website. So GTMetrix is giving this website an A score. It's very fast, and it shows us the loading experience from beginning to end. It looks fairly like there's no problem. It looks like at this step you can see that some of the HTML and CSS was loaded, and then at this step the images began loading at 1 second. So this is all very good. So it tells you a few things you can do to improve the speed of your website, such as using a CDN, serving your images in next-gen formats such as WebP, and a few other things that we can consider. We can bring them up to our web designer and see if they can make these improvements. So it's going to tell us a lot of information on this GTMetrix report. Let's take a look at the other two tools and see what kind of score they give us. So here is Google Page Speed Insights. You can see it automatically goes to mobile. It shows us the mobile speed score because Google prioritizes mobile these days. Most searches are on mobile, most internet users are on mobile. And you can see here some web vitals, including the cumulative layout shift. So this is the amount that the elements on the page move around as things load. So if you're trying to click on something and then suddenly it moves away, so that would affect the cumulative layout shift score. So you want this score to be very in the green zone. So you don't want things moving around when people are trying to click them. So the first contextual paint, that's a very important one. So that tells us when the first images and the first text loads that people can actually look at. The largest contentful paint, this is showing it's fairly low, or it's taking a fairly long time to load, 4.3 seconds. So let's take a look at the timeline here. So this would be the first contentful paint. This would be the largest contentful paint because it loaded the image, the element that takes up most of the screen. And there's a bit more information here, and it tells us things that we can do. Reduce initial server response time, so that would basically mean get a faster server, and we would save about half a second. Reduce unused CSS, reduce unused JavaScript, serve images in next-gen formats, so that would be serving images in WebP. Eliminate render blocking resources, so that would involve a code optimization, minify CSS, minify JavaScript. So I'll tell you right now, a lot of the opportunities that GTMetrix and Google Page Speed Insights told us were the same. Serve images in next-gen formats. If you're serving your images as PNGs or JPGs, it's going to show you that you can receive some savings by serving them as WebPs. So a WebP file is something that is a new type of file, and it's loads faster and it shows high quality images. And it's basically just another image format. And there's a number of other pieces of content here. It tells us that we've passed audits on a number of things here. Overall, a 75 for a mobile page is pretty good. Let's take a look at the desktop version. And you can see it's at 94, which is very good. And you can see it's all green in all these areas. No problem there. In fact, it doesn't even tell us that we can do anything better, which probably it should, but the score is so high that I guess they've decided not to give us any sort of suggestions, because the score is basically perfect. So this is the desktop score. The mobile score obviously can be improved. Let's take out the very last tool here. Let's take a look at the mobile friendly test by Google. So this is not good. It's telling us the page cannot be reached. So let's go ahead and just refresh this and try it one more time. So if the page cannot be reached, that's obviously a problem. It is unavailable or blocked by robots.txt. So let's take a look at another site just so you can get an idea of how this tool looks. So that would obviously be an issue that I would have to solve. So let's take a look at my own website. You can see here it didn't load any of the CSS or JavaScript. It does say the page is mobile friendly. So when it views the website from a mobile device and changes the viewport, my site reacts to that. You can take a look at the HTML that was loaded. So it tells us there's a few page loading issues. Most sites are going to show you that it's mobile friendly. Most sites today, no matter how you implement them, unless you're making your own web server and hand coding everything, the tools that you use to make websites these days have integrated mobile responsiveness. So this would typically show in every case, but sometimes you'll have page loading issues. So let's take a look at what some of the issues are. It didn't load my style sheet. So that's why you couldn't see my CSS or JavaScript. So page partially loaded. So that is obviously the issue here. But you can get an idea of how this tool works. So you can see my website here, and we can look at it on mobile, how it responds to mobile, different viewports. And this is what responsiveness is. That if you change the viewport, the website will respond and change the layout of the elements. So you can see here that it looks fine on mobile. If you see errors on these tests, don't worry too much, because sometimes there's a problem with the tool itself, as is the problem here. It wouldn't load my CSS or JavaScript, but you can obviously see that it works. And then, so there must be some sort of glitch in this tool. I hope Google can take a look at that. But this is a mobile-friendly test. If you go to your Google Search Console and you look at the mobile issues that have arisen from your SEO, if you set up Google Search Console for your website, you'll see that that there are a lot of false alarms when it comes to mobile. I think that Google has a ways to go to improve their mobile crawling. So I think that's why you see that this tool is not working properly. But this is really the best mobile-friendly tool available. So I would definitely use this to refer to when you're looking at whether or not your website is mobile responsive. So I hope that you got some benefit from this video, and if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. If there's another tool that you feel like should have been included in this review, please let me know. And please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for tuning in.